Grand Rising and good day, soul siblings. It's Shay Seeking from American Aborigines Unchained here on YouTube and Facebook. And I just wanted to say, if we think that racism is the real problem here, we should probably think again. I think that we have the perception of this form of racism because racism really has to do with the race to the top, right? This is why your presidents are running a race right now. And when we vote for them, we're giving them our oath. It actually says to vote is to give your oath or a promise or to be a servant of God. So again, why would God want us to cast ballots? See, we don't realize we're in a caste system. And this is about classism and hierarchy and low caste. Okay, it's not really about the actual complexion of your skin. The real reason why we are oppressed in this land and we are stepped on and have been blotted out from the story of the Americas is because we are the true Americans. Okay, so again, we are the earth that you read about in the Bible that they took to form them a man to put or preside like your president does in the east of our garden, which is Washington, D.C. So at the end of the day, even if you don't understand or understand everything that I just said, we are in a caste system. These people are people that are actually anyone that is a foreign person that has a lineage that ties them back to another land that they tried to do with you by calling you African Americans by somebody that you trust, Jesse Jackson in the 1980s, I think 1989, decided, and him and some others decided that that's what we wanted to be called, right? Okay. So at the end of the day, when you're calling yourself that, you are saying that you are a foreigner. Because you don't have the real reason why we are perishing is because of lack of knowledge of self, lack of knowledge of these people and how they actually really operate and the extent of the deception and the discourse that has been done to our people. So there is systematic things in place against you because you are the true American Aborigines or the true American people that were here prior to them colonizing this land. And that makes you a prisoner of war. The real Slavic or slaves that came here were the immigrants that flooded our land and flooded our people in the 1800s, okay? And they were assisted, these privileges, by those who came before them, which were your Lincoln families and all of these people that are in the lineage of all the presidents that they share the same line, okay? So again, this is about them or the rich versus the poor. Those that are on top versus those that are been placed at the bottom that were on top in this particular land prior to them coming here. So until we realize that, we will not move one bit. They are overcrowding us with this Black Lives Matter because they know that most of us are waking up to the fact that we are not black. Black means that you're dead by law, and it means that you're a property of the United States Corporation, and they are able to do whatever they want to do to you when they want. A person of authority. See, that authority has been given to those people and those forces that are gunning you down, supposedly, are given to them by the people at the top. I mean, I don't see, the connection is there. So where is the disconnect in your mind that tells you you're voting for a government that can't get together a law? When they want to pass something, they pass it, but they cannot get together something, right, to protect us from them, because they will never give it to you. And they know what you're going to do every single time. You're going to march and you're going to beg and you're going to plead with your government, because that's what they are. Okay, when you're in a religious institution or when you're in an indoctrination station such as school, getting an education, these are the things that they're demoralizing you, or they are having you worship them. And you think you're worshiping this person that's not in the sky, because again, the whole system replicates what they're telling you the structure is of heaven and earth. It just means that these people have been put in an elevated status over you. That's what the heavens mean. They have been put in the abode or the breast or the abode of God. Okay. And so in that body, that entire body is floating on top of us. It's lifted up above us after they were able to subdue us, like it says in Genesis. Now they have been able to fly on top of you, like it talks about in Deuteronomy. So at the end of the day, until we realize and recognize and stop calling ourselves black, which is why they're letting their puppets like celebrities and musicians and stuff talk about how we're black and we're afraid. Ain't no fucking body afraid. They better be afraid, because the shit that's about to go down here is gonna be pain before it's pleasure. But at the end of the day, our coming up is their downfall. So they do not want to give you anything, and they will not. So it's time for us to leave that shit alone, walk away from everything that you think you can possibly walk away from when it comes to this construct and this system, and start dealing with each other. Start looking at your fucking self first and seeing what you contribute to when it comes to our demise. Because most of us don't realize that the music you listen to, these sports, all these things are things that are messing with your way of living, right? Right? It's a form of even separating you in division anyways, as to what team, what party you're going to vote for, what schools you go, what neighborhood you go. Everything is about division. So if they have everybody divided on miniature different levels of things, then we cannot ever come together. So the first thing that we need to know is who we are. Do your genealogy, okay, if that thrills you. And then we need to come together and figure out how we're going to demand that we be released from this system, okay, the way that we were supposed to be. But see, they gave your nativity or your nationality to their children, okay? They gave your nationality to Native Americans. They gave the term American to their children. This is what it's talking about in the 1828 dictionary. Okay, and they gave you something that was dead or a misnomer, something that's obsolete, in order to give you the perception or the placebo. See, that's the whole thing with this whole voting thing, is it's a placebo. It's making you think you're going to make a change, but at the end of the day, you're really just giving them permission to do the things that they're doing to you. We've been asking for these changes for how long, and they have not given them. If they have all the power, why would they not do that? You have to go above what the hell they got you doing here right now with this Black Lives Matter that really don't have nothing to do with you. And the more of you that they see out there in the streets marching for that shit, the more they're going to know that you are not awake and you don't know who you are, and they can continue to do the things that they're doing to you. So instead of getting mad at those who are giving you the information that is alternative to what you think you know, because now you know that the constructs that they built as far as education systems and indoctrination systems like church, those things separate you from what the word is really saying in the first damn place when it comes to the Bible, right? When you're reading about these people and what they did to your people, and they're being paid homage to by you and others in school that look like them, that is doing something to your subconscious. That is defeating you over and over and over again. And we continue to do this and send our children there. Okay? If they can change laws, why haven't they happened yet? I'm telling you, it's never going to happen. It's never going. We have to walk away from there. We have to do what COVID did. We have to do what COVID did. We have to shut the fuck down. We have to shut down all means that we physically can't. I don't agree with. I'm not telling you to let go of your job. Okay, but I'm saying all of these other things, these worldly things that we grasp onto, are some of the things that we should probably just start. Whatever you think you need, because every individual is different. So whatever you think you need to do to free your mind and think and just go within and start to see, what am I doing to contribute to this, instead of worrying about what someone's not doing. See, and the more of us that are in that mindset, the more we will be connected back with nature, a certain awareness, a certain consciousness that we were at once before, without interruption from other people. They are like, if we have an antenna, they are like the interceptors that block that charge or that frequency from us elevating, because they know exactly what we can do. They know exactly what you can do. So this is why they've been tearing you down. This is why you're the only people that they broadcast on. They say, well, other people die too. Well, damn, I'm pretty sure that they do, because I know how these people work. But at the same time, you're not broadcasting their murder on television in front of the world in order to give a perception of something. So really, at the end of the day, it's not even what happened, whether it's a psyop or it really fucking happened and it's a ritual or something of this sort. It is basically what transpires from that. The mental It's about the mental. Everything is about the mental, right? Okay, with you and your offspring or your children, I'll say that, your actual children, your family, that you brought into this world. And we owe them more. We owe them more. We have to do better. We have to do better. So at the end of the day, let's stop using white supremacy. There's no such thing, because those people that are up there at the top, when we're talking about foreign privilege, right? Everybody that comes into this land is offered some type of something to come in and build businesses in your neighborhoods most times. See? So it's not even really about the color of your skin anymore. That's ridiculous. Anybody that has you thinking a certain way lets me know that you don't feel some kind of way about yourself, because nobody can make me think that they're more supreme than me when I know I'm the fucking earth. Nobody can make me feel like they more supreme than me, because I know that I was here up in this motherfucker first. And everything you got it through me, including some of the subgroups of races and people that reside on this land. See? So we're talking beast of the field, fowl of the air. That's talking about these particular groups, their coat of arms, or something that symbolizes their family line or their lineage. Okay? When it's talking about these particular beings that have invaded and put themselves in certain statuses that your ancestors used to have, and slowly but surely. And so again, you're fighting with people that are saying they're not voting because someone has given you the perception that your vote counts. And what you're doing is signing your life away to them and agreeing with the things that they're doing with you, so they really don't have to give you change at the end of the day. It's always deeper. And you always should go back to the beginning so that you can know the basis of what's going on with you and your people and these particular people. So when we're talking 1828 dictionary, when they say that they found copper-colored Aboriginal indigenous populations here, they're talking about your ancestors. But now they've taken the term American and used it and applied it to their children. And that's anybody that's not from this land, any foreigner, immigrant, alien that is sojourning on your land, that has come in and they have given them privilege. So you are treated like the stepchild. See? Or let's say it's like a relationship when a woman has meets a male that has a child, and she is becoming the stepmother of that child. Okay? At first, she's some kind of way with the child. She might be, you know, cool with the child and everything. But once she has a child and she feels like that child is and this is just women that's not right in the head. That not regular real women don't do this, right? I know that. They can tell us we do that, but they don't all do that. Okay? But then they will have a child, and then there's a certain separation there between her child and his child. See? So that's what we're talking about in Genesis with the enmity. The enmity is that space between us and them, because they've put us in the pits of hell. And we're going to be tormented there forever until we realize what the fuck happened, how we get out of it, who did it, and who it was done to. Okay? So when we're talking about the Hebrew model of the earth or the world, you are in the Sheol. You're trapped there. When I showed you guys that image of Jesus a while back with people trapped underneath his feet, and he was holding up the blanket, it was a statue from a church, that's under his feet is you. The footstool is you. Heaven is the abode. That's where him and his children reside, the living creatures. A creature is something that was created. So these are the beings, again, some of them planted their seeds into our people when they came here, but others brought their seed from their lands that they came from as slaves. Those were the slaves that came here in the millions. They are the only ones documented to come into this land in the millions. The documents for the slave trade says that there was 250,000 so-called Africans. And I still believe that those were probably darker hue Africans, yes. But I think that they were still talking about some of the northern Africans that were of olive or lighter complexion than what you see, what you think when you think about Africa today. Okay? So again, we're never going to get anywhere, and they're loving this. They're loving this because as long as you're running around here talking about you're black, people of authority have the right to do what they want to do with you. It's just the same thing as the damn Casual Killing Act. It is the same thing. And you have to see that there is no one on your side. Everyone is an enemy because they've been made that way, except for the people that you're pointing a finger at when you're talking about white privilege, which is everyday white people that live in your neighborhoods and that you go to school with. They're slaves just like you. They're just at a higher elevated status. Only there. They don't care about them either. They're only there because it's keeping a distance between you and the hierarchy. The 1%. It's keeping a distance between you and those particular people. So they deal with, they show you different things to deal with those people on emotion. Okay, what I'm saying? And it's not really them. They have no power to do anything. If a so-called white person come up to me and kill me today, like I always say, they go in their ass to jail. It's the people of authority that we have to separate the two. You have to, there's a thin, it ain't even no thin line. It's not even a thin line. See? It is the hierarchy. No one that is in that level is there to help you, even if they look like you. And that's what they trick you with. Because there are people that look just like you that are in that group that you are calling white privilege. So until you realize that there are people that look like you that they're using and they pulling them out the woodworks now. See, because they know where you at. But you ain't made it to that next level yet to figure out that, wait, these people too have been used to entertain or sell lies like celebrities or celebrities do on the television. See, the politics and their politicking and their police and their policies. See, it's all of that. You're raving about education system when it's just brainwashing. To educate someone is to take out all their moral standards and to place what the head of state wants you to think in your mind. That's what educate or to educare means. Okay? So again, they're putting, and they're using spelling and things like this in order to cast spells on your children. And we don't even know that we're in a caste system. We cast votes. It all goes, words are very detrimental. They're very important. So I want you to know that the thing that we're suffering from, whether you agree with it or not, I'm not saying it. It's the writing, it's their works. It's all the things that are in front of your face, common sense, discernment. It's all of these things, your spirit. It's all telling you that this is what the problem is. But instead of fixing it and doing the work, we want a quick fix. So we're doing the same thing that they've trained you to do over and over again with no damn results. Because instead of being mad at me for saying not to vote, you should be mad at them for lying to you about voting. You should be mad at them with the information that we're looking into now on the channel, that they lied about your ancestors wanting to vote. They played tricks, mind games on them and gave them the perception that gave us the perception that they wanted to vote, but they didn't want to vote. There's alternative information out there that didn't make it mainstream. See, what they did was take mainstream everything, your books, your Bible. They made sure that people had a preferred version of the Bible, especially when it comes to school. These top companies that own these books, companies that they have in school, in your kids' schools, those are your enemies. So they took the portions or the watered down versions or the preferred versions and placed them in that book. And again, you have to go back, because why didn't they want your ancestors to read? It didn't say that they couldn't read. It said they didn't want them to. Or you made it illegal for them to read. Well, why would you make it illegal for them to read when they couldn't fucking read? See? Why? Why? You didn't make it illegal for people to, well, you made it illegal for them to teach them to read. But again, they don't specify it like that. More, we say, oh, they couldn't read, our ancestors couldn't read. Well, you had to go back to the books that were being written that didn't make it mainstream, right? Before everyone's eyes. You have to go look at those books and things and see what it was that they didn't want them to read. The laws, the acts, the things, everything, the treaties, everything that was going on when they supposedly weren't supposed to be reading. Because this is during Reconstruction. And this is when they were taking everything out about those last people that was there, their ancestors, erasing that and putting in the things that they wanted to now create the narrative for. Because before Reconstruction, you had standing. When they convince you to vote and be a citizen, which is a property of the United States, and why you have a social security number and a birth certificate, that's when they were able to make you think that the South wasn't shit no more. Okay? Leave that area. Leave your rights to your rights to being Indian, your proper status behind, because you wanted to be big city people, big city folk. You know what I'm saying? And what did you do? Left all the land down there to who? Same thing with sharecropping. We getting confused. Again, I'm just going off the whim right now because I'm just saying a couple different things here, just to, you know, plant those seeds or whatever. So I'm wondering if even when they talking about sharecropping, now reading it and using etymology to define what we're talking about, when it's talking about that 7 years in the Bible, and it's saying that you're a woman, because again, that's a main big one right there. The woman not speaking in the church. A church is also just a building. It's a construct. It is a body. It is something other than just what you go to on Sunday today as so-called black folks. Okay. It could be a group. Okay. So when we're talking about, shoot, what was I just going to talk about? Oh, I'm mad. Oh, okay. So it could be, back then, it could have been a courthouse. It could have been anything like this. So when they're saying that, you know, you should have a husband, man, and for 7 years, then you let him free. And if he don't want to go free, then he want to stay. See that story that came out a couple years ago about that man that didn't know that they was freed until a long time. And then I think they did a documentary, and it showed us, you know, the connection between the two families. What we're not realizing is that generations ago, that possibly was that sharecropper's land. That he let someone come and sojourn on that land with him and split things. And over time and past generations, right, they hid the fact that the land was yours first. And then after a certain amount of time, if you don't fix something, then it is what it is. And so the woman not speaking in church is just saying that there's only one party of the sharecropping system that gets that actually gets paid the most, or get paid for real. There's one party that can go to the courthouse and go to the government and speak. See, this is another thing of, you can't go to him, the Father, without going through me, because they didn't, they couldn't have your presence. See, they couldn't help your presence. See, so they didn't want you there learning about what they were doing, because after a certain amount of time, when you don't claim something, it could be allotted to someone else. And then again, they think you helping them by letting you stay on the land in a shack. See, and you're getting taxed, which Indians, and I think no one was actually supposed to be really taxing, is illegal than a motherfucker. Right? But especially for you. Just like some images I pulled up today, the women were sitting there with signs saying no tax. They want something to change, but they don't want to be taxed. Well, once you become a citizen, that's what happens. That's exactly what happens. So when I'm thinking sharecropping, I'm thinking that whole shit we talking about in the Bible and everything is actually, because I know what a woman is. A woman is just the group of people on a land that man has come in and planted his seed and cultivated and irrigated and flooded. Man is the foreigner, basically. Woman is anybody that was on the land, both male, children, and we're going to go into it. I'm going to bring up the definitions, okay? Later on, okay? But that means that is a wedding, or that is the wedlock that we went under when they let us leave our freedom, not worrying about what the hell they was doing, building our own, and we integrated. Integration is another horrible thing that we did, because it's dispersed us and had us spending our money with other fucking people. You've been trained to do that. You've been trained. You were given the impression that you couldn't shop. It's like a taboo kind of thing, that you couldn't shop here and you couldn't go there. And then all of a sudden you're fighting for that right, because they put a leader in front of you that may or may not know that they're actually leading you into a burning building. Okay. And then they get you to fight for something that they want you to get anyways, because they want to incorporate you. Oh, damn. See? Can incorporate. It's just a word. It's a number that they've done on us. So whether you're awake or you're not, you like the truth, you don't, you're annoyed with what I'm saying when I'm posting shit, you're not, it doesn't matter. Something that I've said in this thing is speaking to you. Okay? It's speaking to your conscious. Something that you should not take my word for it, but go and look for yourself. Because this shit that y'all doing and we doing right now, It's never going to get us there. It's never going to get us there. They will not give it to you, because if they give it to you, their ass got to come down. And point is, when they come down, they're going to get ripped apart by the wolves, because they're the real sheep. I didn't get to say everything I wanted to say, but again, I don't want to make this too long, and I want to thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, and again, how long will we have these rights to speak things? They're already taking people's posts down because they don't agree with it, and lying and saying nudity was in stuff and it's not. You know what I'm saying? We won't have these platforms for that much longer. We won't have these. So for those of y'all that's talking about these scholars and these people that's teaching truth and shit online, you're gonna wish you listen. You're gonna wish you listen. Maybe not even to me, but to somebody else or to yourself. Because I know yourself is speaking to you that something is not right about this shit, and you're just not listening. And that's the first damn mistake that we make. It's so hard to look at yourself in the mirror. It's so hard to see that you're paying these people to do what they're doing for you by votes, by purchasing merchandise from some of these big companies, from sending your children to their schools, from working at some of these companies instead of working for yourself, attending their schools instead of doing your own, promoting this garbage that we call music, that the people have made it that way. Yes, that they can't put different types of music out, but you are allowing them to do it to you because you keep on supporting it. You keep on supporting it. So, again, wake, realize, and rise. I love you guys. I do this because I love you. I do this because this is my calling. I do this because I definitely want to change. And I know that even though no one's hearing us right now with the stuff that we're saying, because they're overcrowding us with this black shit, knowing good and damn well what they're doing, I know that there is something happening here. There is a shift and a change. And they want you separate from each other because you are the fucking thing that is going to make this go through. Like I like to say, there's something deeper and more spiritual to this we'll call it the iris. Y'all know what I'm trying to say. The V iris. And there's something more critical to this, in this global warming and this climate change, and it's something that is conducting it from your core. See, you are the earth. So the earth's core is riling itself up because of the harm that humanity, okay, has been doing to you. And we are connected to a source or a form of a God, but they have you thinking you're worshiping this being and he's up in the sky, when he's right there in that damn White House on that white throne that's talked about in the Bible. And what you're doing when you cast your vote, go ahead and look at etymology and see what vote means. It means, or you can look on one of the posts on my page, it means that you are bowing down to them and they are your gods at the end of the day. And the thing is, it's funny because we already knew this on the channel by doing our research, and certain things are just coming now to confirm what we were saying. So I have to go, and I'm not going to say anything anymore. I might come back with more. I know it's kind of a rant, but I hope someone could take something from it. Take care.